Hi, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about growing primrose, also known as Primula vulgaris. That's the scientific name. Primroses are a plant native to Europe, Western Europe, I believe. Their range is anywhere from Scandinavia to North Africa. When I was in England over this past December, I noticed that they grow a lot of them just everywhere, along with lots of pansy flowers, which are violas. I'll get into that later. So when I was in England, I purchased some seeds. I didn't really expect them to make it back with me through customs, but I declared them, and then they just let them through with me, so whatever. I don't plan on sowing these seeds, but because I move around a lot, it's difficult for me. But here's one of my primrose plants in a pot. This is a pinkish variety. I don't know, it wasn't really that strong of a pink, which is why I got it, because I don't really like pink, but it's cool. So I put it in a pot. Basically, when you grow these, you want to keep them very moist. Like, never let them dry out, because otherwise they will die, and you don't want that to happen. Even though this plant was only like $1.80, it was no big deal. But you want to keep them evenly moist, constantly. Keep them in the shade. If they get in the sunlight, their leaves can get scorched and burned, like this leaf right here. It's turning yellow. Maybe you can see that. Maybe it'll focus. I don't know. But you don't want that to happen. So keep them in the shade. They are hardy to USDA zone 6, which is very cold. I believe it can get up to like -10, negative something, just very cold. So they're very hardy plants, but just keep them well moistened and well watered. So the leaves are edible, I've heard, and so are the flowers, but I don't want to try it because I don't want to take a chance, but I'm pretty sure that they are edible. They do smell like lettuce if you take them and crush them, but whatever. These plants have a variety of colors that are available. This one is pink, like I said. I have a red one. Let me get it. Red, see, it matches my shirt. I didn't do that intentionally, but whatever. I also have a blue one outside. I've seen white, yellow. I haven't seen orange. Maybe it's like a golden yellow, but just a lot of colors. And yeah, that's really cool. So when they've been flowering, they flower for quite a long time. I guess it's like from fall through spring. You'll get these spent flowers, if you can see that. What you want to do is pinch those off. Because what happens with plants is when the flower is pollinated by a bee or an insect or by itself, the seeds start to develop, and the seeds produce a plant hormone, I believe it's gibberellin, that tells the plant to stop making flowers, because if the plant is flowering and it's already making seeds, the plant wants to devote its energy to seed production and fruit production, not making more flowers. The same thing happens in cucumbers. If you've ever grown cucumbers, you know that every time you pick the cucumbers, the more cucumbers the plant produces. Same thing. So the more you pick the flowers, the more flowers are going to come. So that just perpetuates the whole thing. Most primroses have yellow in the center. I don't know if that's intentional or the breeders can't get rid of that, but I don't mind the yellow. Yeah, just pinch the flowers off, and sometimes they smell good. Yeah, so this one needs to go, and yeah, sometimes it can look a little bare after you do this, but if you can't really tell, but there are a lot of flowers in there coming up. Yeah. So after the spring comes and goes, and the flower stops flowering, what do? You have two options, a couple options. You can keep it in the pot and just keep it well watered during the summer, no big deal. Or you can pull it out of the pot and you can divide it, because a lot of the times what will happen is, this one is coming up here too, it will split up into two separate plants, and you can see the little rosette forming there. New leaves are coming out. So that's actually a new plant. As long as you have a leaf and a root, you can have a new plant. So this is an easy way to multiply them. The plants do this themselves, but you can actually just pull them apart and then have two plants instead of one. But left to their own, planted in the ground, they will just, you know, get bigger and bigger like a mushroom over the years. But pretty easy to grow so far here in Northern California. I haven't had very many problems, besides maybe being a little bit too dry. Overall, they're pretty easy. I'm glad that I was interested in them after I went on that trip and saw them growing, because I noticed that the climate in England was very similar to the weather up here during the winter, and I was like, oh, they're probably not too hard to grow. They're not. So hopefully that's a little bit helpful. Hopefully you could actually see everything that I was doing. Yep, hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Bye-bye.